Not me.
Waiting on you, my friend. You're right on time. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
The March 5th, 2024 meeting of the West Haven ARPA Committee will now come to order. Will each member, paid professional, city official, state your name for the record? Ken Carney, Chair.
David Grudberg, Carmody Torrance, counsel to the committee.
Dwight Knowles.
Gary Pardo.
Mike Last.
Rohan Smith.
Let the record show that Ernie Chirelli is here, sidewalk inspector. Each member has received a copy for the agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any proposed changes? If none, the agenda stands. The chair will now ask for a motion to forego the reading of the February 6th regular meeting minutes.
So
Motion.
moved.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm now going to ask for a motion to approve the February 6th meeting minutes, which are on pages 6 through 11. 6
So
through
moved.
11. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion on that? Anybody? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on, we have the chairman's report, updated ARPA spending plan. So, you have in front of you a new formatted Excel sheet, and it breaks out additional columns that you've not seen before. So if you go to the column in the red, it says at risk for obligating by 12/31. These are the projects that we've identified as potentially being at risk. I presented them to the mayor and her team, and I believe they have a plan to get this money spent. We have spent everything that we can possibly spend, but we need more answers to spend the rest of this money. That's roughly a little over $5 million. And then we have some large jobs that are out to bid. Our largest jobs are out to bid: the Kerrigan boilers, the police garage, the fire department garage, Allentown Fire, and the Painter Park Butler building. So that represents several $1 million, and that will bring us to where we need to be. The next column shows what's over budget or under budget, and the rest of it you've seen before. The only other structural change we've made is we've taken all the jobs that are complete and we put them on the bottom of the list, making it much easier to identify what's not complete. Any questions on that?
Ken, do you have an update on the fire department money?
Yes, so there are 3 buckets of money, about $1 million for each fire department. Starting with Allentown, the garage has been designed and is out to bid. We extended the bid because we need a better site plan, and we should have that site plan very soon. We had good attendance that walked through. I think 6 companies showed up to bid that job. 2 of them worked for the city in the past and did a good job for us. Center District, my understanding is their committee of, what do you call their governing committee there?
Commissioners?
Commissioners. They voted to buy the 2 houses behind the firehouse, and since then, the firehouse has signed the contract with ARPA, and that is in the attorney's hands, and I've spoken to the mayor to get that moving. The 3rd bucket of money is West Shore. Antonazzi was the chosen architect, and he is at $49,000 to design new sleeping quarters for both Benham Hill and Ocean Avenue, and he is racing to finish that, and then that will go out to bid. That's
So
what-
even though it's shown at risk, you're,
Well, it's at risk because we have 8 months left. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to get through Marb. The food contracts, which are now complete, took 6 months to get through Marb.
wow. Now, we just have to obligate it by
Correct.
December, correct? And then we have until 2026
December of 26 to actually
to
spend
spend
it.
it? Okay.
Okay, so
Obligate goes beyond, the city council appropriation. It's
Gotcha.
contract in place to do the project.
After a bidding process in Marb.
So there has to be a purchase order or some kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
contract?
Exactly.
You have a question?
yes, I guess my question would be, so it has to be obligated. So when it's obligated, that means you commit the fund, right? But what if, let's say, the contract withdrew because they couldn't meet the criteria, or so, they couldn't meet the deadline? What then happened to
Well,
the fund?
I think in a case like that, and I'd have to rely on the attorneys, I mean, what you're suggesting is the lowest responsible bidder gets the contract and then defaults, it would go to the next bidder in the pipeline.
Yeah, but what if this happened there after the deadline? I mean,
You lose the money.
December, therefore, so we lose the money.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess we better get working on this then.
We've done a great job. We came into the game late. We had to get through council. We had to get through purchasing, procurement. We had to get through MARB. We had to do the bidding process. We had contracts that were created from nothing because there were no existing contracts. And we have already spent, $15 million. And we've got on the street another $6 million already in the bidding phase.
And I would say that we have that extra step of MARB, and I think you've done a good job pushing these. And I think if you compared us to other municipalities of similar size, we're out in front. I think we're doing a good job.
I'm hearing some horror stories. I don't want to say any towns in public here. I'm hearing some towns have spent very little of their ARPA funds. And the problem is, you're asking people who are working very hard in their respective roles to step out of those roles and spend $30 million. What's unique about West Haven is we have third-party people working on ARPA funds. We have a volunteer committee, we have an outside law firm, we have an outside accounting firm, and the young lady who does a great job, Sharon, in-house, we pay for. She's a subcontractor. There's nobody in City Hall working on this. But City Hall chooses the projects, the timelines, has to go through
Right.
procurement.
Right.
All right, so this is a much more detailed tracker, and we'll continue with this format as we get closer to the deadline. Moving on, we have the Financial CARES Act. We went before the City Council and we asked for another $300,000. I'd like to send that down. Put it in there if you.
Okay, thanks.
So, we had spent a little bit north of the 700,000 that was allocated because you can't stop a train. I mean, you're never on budget, you're either under budget or over budget, right? When we were allocated the 300,000, we had $249,723 left to spend of the 300,000. We sat down with the four contracts, UHY, Carmody, Robert Half, and Jow. We didn't sit down with Jow, we already know their fee. And we figured out what their monthly fee is gonna be over the next 6 months. And combined, it comes to $39,800, okay? We took the $39,800, we divided it into the 249, and that gets us through June with a $10,000 contingency. So what we expect will happen is some vendors will be slightly higher, some vendors will be slightly lower. We think it'll all come out in the wash. But I've already warned the council and the mayor, we're coming back in June for some more funds. We can't not pay the professionals who are running the whole program. Otherwise, if we don't pay them, we have to go to City Hall, and City Hall's already short people, so I don't see it happening. Any questions on this? Okay, so with that, if you go to page 13, you have an invoice from UHY for $11,062.50, 13 through 15. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next, we go to page 16. And here we have Jow Films for $200. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next, go to page 17. We have Carmody, $25,804, that represents both December and January. That's 2 months' worth of work. So they are under budget. $25,804, do you have a motion to approve?
So
Motion.
moved. Second.
That's, we'll go with Rohan, followed by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, go to page 26. This is Robert Half. 26 through 27, 28, 29, and 30. And I have one invoice for 256604, one invoice for 244115, another invoice for 210160, another invoice for 1493.56, and a final invoice for 1696.38. That ends on page 30. Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's Gary. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we move on to page 31 through 34. This is Hearst Media, and this is the advertising. Hello, Chris. This, good, sir. This is the advertisement for various projects. We have one for 642.12, one for 495.17. Chris, have you set up right over here with all your stuff if you want to, I can move it over. And 505.43. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, that would be, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We now move on to child development roof on page 2 of your agenda. These guys, Imperial Roofing, have delivered material. They have demanded $250,000, which is more than the cost of the material they delivered. They will not sign a contract. They will not return a phone call. Any update, David?
Mark is working on a draft demand letter from them, or, notice to them that we're gonna pull the project if they don't remove the materials within, I think we talked about a 10-day window.
Okay.
That we would get it. We expect to get that out I expect to see a draft on that soon, and hopefully we can get that out by the end of the week.
All right, that being said, Silktown is our second bidder. This will be a fight, but these guys are just not behaving themselves. They've taken over the parking lot, and they've disappeared for now 6 weeks.
Have they given us any
We'll
list
return a
of?
call. When you try to call them,
Oh.
they're nasty on the phone. They tell you they'll call you back. They never do. They're claiming they sent the contract to City Hall. They're not gonna sign another one. We don't have the contract. It's a mess.
So what would we need to, if they were gonna be responsive, a list of what's there and then insurance to cover it, or?
Well, at this point, we have no contract with them.
Okay.
There's no signed contract. We would tell them to get the material off, or we're gonna,
Okay,
take
so
it.
they delivered the material without any contract?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
And without any payment.
right.
wow. Talk about at risk.
All right, moving on here, Parks Fund. Let's start on page 35, and we'll have Ernie come up. The first one we have is Ivy League for berm work on Contact Drive, page 35 through 41. The amount is $2,450. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion?
Is this on drainage still over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on to page 42, we have Morris Park Storage Shed Abatement. This was a project that went out to bid to several companies, not advertised bid because it was under 10,000, and they went into that shed and they did abatement work to the tune of 4,500. Do I have a motion to approve Alloy for that fee?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to page 47. This is Plainfield Avenue, Don's Landscaping, and this is $24.99, and this is for clearing and mowing overgrown vegetation on Plainfield Avenue. And I went up there and I took a tour, and I gotta tell you, this is the best deal in the world. This guy cleared several hundred feet of brush. You can now walk into the park, almost the entire breadth of the park, by the way. And I'm not talking about a 4-foot path. I'm talking like a 25-foot path. He did a great job for it. I don't know how he got it done for $2,500.
He did. He did a good job.
Does he go to Reading?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Does he go to Reading?
Does he go to
Find out.
Reading? I could check with him.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
The info's on the invoice, Chris.
Yeah,
Save that.
it is. It is. But yeah, he cleared that out real nice so we could get in there, because it has to be designed. So in order to really take a look at the property, we had to clear the area. And when he came in with that price, I got it okayed and we went
Go to
forward.
page 50, that's the before, and go to page 51. And this went on for hundreds of feet. This is just one little sample
The
here.
driveway's about 300 feet, and then there's the opening, which is about, I would say probably 200 by 200.
6 inches is not a sapling, that's a tree.
Yeah.
We could have got this done for cheaper though. We could have just burned it out.
Oh, yeah.
But then we had to pay the fireman to put it out, so you know what happens then. Gets a little more expensive. So Don's Landscaping for $2,499.
Motion to
Do you have
approve?
a second?
Seconded.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Just real quick on that,
Yeah.
that's, open space, I believe. What is the plan for that?
So we have brought in 2 engineers to design a community garden, walking trails, and what else? A community garden, a better parking lot, and some other things.
That's a
And
big piece of property, that'll be nice.
It's like 40 acres.
42
Yeah.
acres, yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
with that, we'll get this committee will approve one of the designers in their fee. They'll do a specification and it'll go out to bid.
Water line, we did a water line.
Yeah. Yep.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, very nice. And I think there's some downward pressure from the state with an easement and things, so we have to follow a certain
Yeah.
criteria.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's go to page 52. Here we have a fence from our friends at Frankson Fence at Painter Park, $677. A motion to approve.
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's go to page 57. And we have Oak Street guardrail repair. This is also Franklin Fence. This is for $425. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion.
That'd be
Second.
Rahan, followed by Gary. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, let's move on to page 62. And this is a whopping $753 for a 21-foot by 5-foot high black vinyl chain link fence to replace an existing fence at Wooden Park Holding Pen, Painter Park. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Seconded.
That's Chris. And any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's move on. Thank you, Ernie. Let's move on to the food banks. We had both Vertical Church and High Reach, which used to be Fish. Their contracts were approved by Marb. The mayor signed them immediately. And let me tell you something. Every time I come up here to ask the mayor to sign something, she signs it immediately. Things are really, really flowing around here. That being said, they're gonna be presenting invoices for next month's meeting, and we will start spending that money, but it is secure and safe because it met the deadline, as required by ARPA for December of '24. Savin Rock Communities is still negotiating their contract. I expect that next month. Any questions on the food banks? Stormwater management. We have a couple buckets of money. We have $1 million in grant matching funds. If you look on your large spreadsheet, you can see that we have spent $507,000 of that, and we have spent $212,000 of the $1.4 million. Now, we have the CDM Smith report, which is funded from the first $1 million, and we have Cerulli and we have the City of West Haven employees following that report, replacing catch basins, and fixing pipe. Now, it was too cumbersome to try and put these pictures in the booklet tonight. I'm gonna pass these down, take a look at them. But when you see their bills, you're gonna see code numbers, and those code numbers coincide with the CDM Smith report, and then the pictures are here. We require pictures. Okay, so pass these down. So with that, I have Cerulli, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 invoices. And the first one is for $11,100 on page 65. On page 66, I have $11,100. On page 67, I have 5,700. On page 68, I have 3,400. On page 69, I have 8,505. On page 70, I have 6,075. And on page 71, I have 6,900. The pictures of the before and after are in your hands, and as you drive around the city, you'll see this work. Do you have a motion to approve these invoices? Do I have a second? Do I have any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, recycling and reuse center. That is still in design, and there may be some changes with that coming up. Next, we have the broadband access library. That is back on target, and they'll be sending us invoices probably by the next meeting. And they changed their application to meet the ARPA requirements. Let's go to Century Protective Services on page 72. This is a fee for the guards to work at the warming station. It comes out of the library fund, $1,372. No, I'm sorry, it comes out of, this comes out of homeless shelters. So-
Broadband access.
No,
No?
no. Comes out of homeless, this is the wrong category, my apologies. So this will come out of the 354 for homeless, we'll approve it now with the understanding it comes out of the homeless fund. $1,372.41 for guards for the warming shelter. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
This is, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, this is out of the homeless shelter, right?
Yes,
And it's.
warming shelter, my apologies,
warming
but it
shelter.
comes out of the homeless shelter.
Okay, but it says broadband access for the library.
You on this one here? Page 72,
Page 72,
it says warming center,
okay.
doesn't say broadband.
This is going off the,
Oh, it's on the wrong, it's misplaced on the agenda, that's why I'm changing it.
Okay,
Yeah, go to page 72, look at the bill. It's color coded, it's got the yellow, it's Century Protective Services.
okay, got it.
Look in the, right below the CPS, it says warming center,
Okay, got it.
okay? That's invoice number 29938. And this will come out of the homeless shelter fund that we awarded Columbus House.
Okay.
Does it make sense now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my apologies. So I'll move that. We're in discussion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next we go to City Hall windows. Pre-construction meeting has occurred. There was a hiccup on the window that was chosen. The tribute window from Harvey did not quite make the energy rating as dictated by the architect, but their plastic window does. So the vendor is resubmitting the criteria on the window for the architect's approval. In the meantime, we all agreed to order one window. We're gonna put it in the tax assessor's office to do a test run. Both companies, the abatement company and the window company, agreed to participate. And from that, we'll get an idea how long it's gonna take to do these windows, and we can create a project schedule, and we can start scheduling windows in City Hall when they come in. So that job's going well, and both contracts are fully signed, by the way. That was a big one. Next, we go to the fire district in Allentown. The bid date has been extended for the garage because we're waiting for a site plan, and procurement has been notified of that. Next, we go down to Russell Dawson. So that is on page 73. Now, what we're doing here is invoice, let me see. Okay, this one we can approve. We're asking to approve Russell Dawson invoice for $5,000 for the Allentown Fire District project. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
That's Dwight. Any second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
And this is ready to go out to bid?
Everything but the site plan.
Okay.
Is this a partial, so it's just partial on the construction documents?
No, what happened, Chris, is we actually went out to bid. We had 6 companies show up, signed into the walkthrough, and they all had questions about the site that the architect said, you know what, we're gonna need a site plan. I went back into the contract, he owes us a site plan, it's by contract. He's doing that, and we extended the bid till April 15th.
Gotcha.
Everybody's on target, all right? But we're okay paying this. And I think I got the site plan today, but I haven't checked yet. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we go to Fire District Center District. I can tell you the contract has been fully executed. I went down to see the chief, went through the paperwork with him, and had him actually sign all the various parts of the contract, and then he supplied all of the backup data that he had to supply, so they're fully functional at this point. And then West Shore, Antonazzi is working on a design for their sleeping quarters. We'll hear more about that as time goes on. Next, we go to F&F Mechanical on page 75. They went to, they went and installed ultraviolet bacteria and virus killers in their existing HVAC equipment. Part of the money was allocated from the council for that purpose. 2 units were done, $19.35 each. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Question, just, they know they've got to check these with regularity and replace these as they go out.
Yeah, there's a maintenance contract with that, I believe.
Oh, is a contract with it?
Well, I don't know if it's with the people who installed it or their existing HVAC guys, but it's part of the service plan now. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on. We go to Boardwalk cameras. A&S Electrical on page 79. He is requesting $3,762, and the architect has signed off on it. They've done a wonderful job down there. The architect goes down every week. I go down every week. I myself go down every week. It's clean work. They've done everything to the spec. They've done a very, very nice job. They installed all of the underground pipe, all of the Cat 6. They've done all the terminations. Poles are being set. We expect that system to be operational at the end of April. Okay, do you have a motion to approve the $3,762?
Motion. Second.
Second by Chris. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Next, go to page 82. Here I have the Chase Consulting Services for the cameras. He's put in his application for $3,450. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Are they overseeing the job?
Yes. Yep. Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. And then finally, I have Omnidata. Now, in the case of Omnidata, he's billed out for the equipment, which is the cameras, the call boxes, the connectors. He wants $75,280.45. With that, I asked for pictures. I got the pictures. Too much to put in the book. Pass these down. Here are the pictures showing all the equipment. Do you have a motion to approve Omnidata for $75,280.45?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
That's Chris. Any discussion?
Ken, where is all the equipment?
At his warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's insured and everything? in case something-
Until it's installed, it's on him.
Okay.
100%. We have his insurance. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Moving on, we got Painter Park Fieldhouse. So that is completely designed. That is a complicated site plan that has not gone out to bid yet because we're waiting for the site plan, and we were promised April 4th for the site plan. And with that, we will put it out to bid shortly after that. Okay? We do have, on page 85, we have a invoice from these guys for $6,000, and I recommend we pay, 85 and 86. Do I have a motion to accept, to pass that payment?
You recommend we pay because?
Because we still have enough money held back for the site plan. He's got $12,000 sitting in the background here. So, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next we go to page 87. This is the change order for Painter Park site plan. So unlike the field house, unlike the garage for the police and the garage for the fire, site plan was never included in the original contract. I verified that myself. So with that, they have to do a site plan for the entire park. It's a huge property. They're at $21,045. We're running out of time. The mayor's already signed this, but we need the ARPA committee to approve it. So, can I have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we go on to EMS premium pay. You'll see that on the chart as an item that is in jeopardy of being lost until that's figured out by Marb and the fire department. Housing Crisis Grant Fund. We are asking for a motion to withdraw funds from the Columbus House due to lack of activity. We approved this money 7-8 months ago. They have not produced a single invoice or a single service against these funds. And last month, I was in City Hall for another meeting. I walked by the third floor conference room, and the Columbus House is in there asking CDA for a $15,000 grant. So the mayor has better ways to spend this money on West Haven residents. We're asking to withdraw this from Columbus House. We're going to terminate the contract and give this money back to the mayor to do something different through the ARPA committee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
That's Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's Mike. Any discussion?
We don't owe them anything, they haven't done any work.
Nothing. Now, before we ask for a vote, this is where the guard money should come from. We're paying for the warming center out of this bucket of money. Okay, it was wrong on the agenda, but it was right on the bill. So I'm gonna put the guard money here.
And in terms of what, we'll see what they say when the contract is terminated. As you know, we've not fronted any money. I don't know whether they're gonna come to us after all this time claiming, oh, we spent this or we spent that, but there've been no signs of activity.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Have we had a conversation with them in regards to,
Yes,
Withdrawing
we had several
the
no,
contract.
not withdrawing, but we had several conversations. They claim they can't hire anyone to service the contract. Then they got a new HR person who said she'd hire somebody, she did not. I can't hold up.
No, I think it's fair.
I mean, we need this money on the street, and it's just not happening.
yeah, a significant chunk, I forget the numbers, but a significant slice of that money was to create and pay a position to handle all sorts of activities benefiting the homeless, and there is no one in such a position receiving those monies, so.
No, it makes sense.
We also have a chunk of money in there to provide emergency shelter. We had a fire on Dogburn. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not the Dogburn fire. There's a fire down the street here next to the funeral home, Savin. And there are people with no place to live, and there was no coordinator to tell them, we have ARPA funds. I called the fire department and said, we have ARPA funds, we'll pay for a hotel out of this bucket of money. No one's doing anything. So. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we go to Haley School. Low bidder was $57,000. That's a spring contract. Please tell Mark I need that contract. Moving on. Field turf. They're asking for 128,032.50. If you go to page 92, I don't think you can see it, but here's the punch list. Here's their written response to the punch list that we created. It is not done. A lot of it's done, but it's not 100% done. And with that, I'm asking for a motion to table this to next month's meeting. This invoice. Do I have a
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Mike,
I second.
Mike the football guy. Next meeting. All right, next, we have an update on the Noble Community Center rooftop units. Those units will be in late March, early April. The electrical main breakers and circuits for the city buildings, we do have some numbers on, I'll get back to you on that. Kerrigan boilers, no bidders. We're going back out to bid, and our original plan to convert the steam to water and create 2 boiler rooms is going to surpass the $4.2 million budget. In interviewing the vendors that showed up, that did not bid, we found out all their concerns, and we don't have enough money. Now, we do have 5 boilers that are water-based, and we can't convert them. At some point, we can sell those boilers back because people wait 8 months for those boilers. We have no problem selling them. But they also can service other elementary schools that require new boilers. That's a discussion that we can have later. We're paying $600 a month to store them, so not the end of the world. We're redesigning the spec to replace the 2 steam boilers and the steam pipe in place, and to be done by October 15th, which is the mandated time to turn the heat on in the school. We also get all new controls. Right now, when they turn the heat on, they cannot regulate the temperature. We do have a firm price of, I believe, $700,000 to replace all the controls in the building. And we'll go back out to bid and get this done for the school system with the money that we have in the budget. All right. Next, we have bleacher repair at Veterans Field. Mike, you might want to get involved in this. I'm just overwhelmed with things to do here. If you give me a call, I can tell you how we get this done.
Okay.
Community mental health, we're waiting on invoices, but Bridges is doing a great job. And we expect invoices soon. Aid to small business, the new applicants were denied. The mayor's gonna take those funds and create a new program for city businesses. You'll hear more on that soon. And the support for arts funding is just about finalized. And the storage shed was extended due to site plan requirements. And that brings us to page 94. I'm going to recommend that we table this invoice from Russell Dawson until we get that site plan. That's an invoice for $6,400. I'd like a motion to table it.
So moved.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So table
Was that invoice to you?
to next month.
I think I gave you that invoice.
Okay. Next, I've got invoice number, page 96.
Check with Gary.
This is DNR. This is an additional change order for additional training, and apparently on the system, they did not have a button for executive session, which sort of, puts everybody on hold. They came in, they did the work, they did the training, $3,150. Great company, by the way. Did a great job for us. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Next, we have new business. Does any member have a new business to present? Okay, I do. On page 98, I've got Superior Logistics for $600. That is the monthly fee for storing the boilers at Kerrigan. Do I have a motion to approve that?
How long have we been storing these boilers?
This will be our first month.
Are we anticipating storing this until
5 months maybe, I don't know, until we figure out what we're gonna do with these boilers.
I would add to the motion, if it passes, authorization for council to fill out the committee approval form.
Done.
Since I didn't do one in advance.
Yep, that's fine. I'm sorry, where were we with this? Do we have a motion?
Not yet.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the $600.
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
The good news is we have the boilers.
355,000 in boilers.
Right,
That we're
so
storing
that's-
for $600 a month.
Well, we can't use them, right?
Oh, we could use them. I mean, here's the thing. You know, we took a right-hand turn, they're going back to steam, but while they do their calculations, they may come back and say we're going back to water. I don't know. But both, McCrill, Forest, Haley, and Pagels could all use these high condensing boilers. So, or we can sell them. So I'm not worried about it. The important thing is to get the heat on in Kerrigan. That's what I'm striving for. Any other discussion?
I understand, but I still don't wanna waste $600 a month storing the boilers. So if we're
it's-
gonna sell it, we need to sell it, and
Well, I don't have that information yet, and right now they're in a dry, secure place, insured for $600,
oh, it's
and
in.
we're 150 under budget on the boilers.
Okay.
So it's small change. Where are we? Do we have a motion to approve? Okay, any other, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I have Brooks Environmental. So one of the complaints of the vendors that showed up to Kerrigan School is they were told a very large ceiling that starts in the foyer and runs down the hall is hot with asbestos. And that came from facilities. So I had it tested with the idea that if it's hot, we'll take it down now. If it's not hot, we take something off the checklist. It turns out it was not hot. It tested negative. So we paid $490 to find that out. Do I have a motion to approve Brooks Environmental Consulting for $490?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, thank you.
Same agreement, I'll fill out the approval form for that one as well.
Is there any other new business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for being here, guys.